Welcome to Sky Broking Commodity Weekly Market Commentary. Disclaimer: this weekly market commentary is for information purpose only. Before taking any decision, consult a financial advisor. Major data of this week has economic and inflation related data, and the major event like Europe ECB President Lagarde speaks on Monday, and the US FOMC minutes of meeting on Wednesday. All G20 meetings. Now let's see the precious metals outlook. Gold and silver has news like a jump in yields on Thursday on the back of inflation data stopped gold from recording the 8th day of gains in the 9. The precious metals gave up initial gains to end the day a little lower as markets priced in a 6th hike this year in the US and yields elsewhere also rose. Fundamentally, this is a slight negative news for precious metals and technically speaking, gold may expect a positive rally and it may possible to test 50,150 levels by positionally, and silver may expect a positive range-bound trade in between 61,260 to 65,842 levels. So these are this week's precious metals outlook. Now let's check out the energy outlook. First is crude oil. It has a news like oil prices are rallying once more as the IEA raised forecasts for the demand this year. The group acknowledged that the market is tight right now, while highlighting that a nuclear deal between the US and Iran could release 1.3 million barrels of supply. Fundamentally, this is a slight positive news for crude oil, and technically speaking, crude oil may expect a positive rally and it is possible to test 7,130 ranges by positionally. Next is natural gas. It has a news like natural gas markets have initially tried to rally during the trading session on Friday but then showed signs of exhaustion. At this point, it looks as if the market is going to continue to struggle in general, which makes a certain amount of sense considering that the storms in the northeastern part of the United States are over and we are setting up for a move into the spring. Fundamentally, this is a negative news for natural gas, and technically speaking, natural gas may expect a recovery until close below 283 levels. So these are this week's energy outlook. Now let's see the base metals outlook. First is copper. It has a news like the China newly added RMB loans as well as social financing both recorded historical highs, while the growth of M2 currency was also higher than estimated, boosting market sentiment which pulled up overnight SHFE copper. However, the US CPI for January released last night recorded a new high in 40 years. The St. Louis Fed President James Bullard even suggested that the combined interest rate hikes shall be 100 basis points before July, heightening market expectations of a rate hike, raising US dollar index and suppressing SHFE copper. This is fundamentally a slight negative news for copper, and technically speaking, copper may expect a profit booking rally with support of 740 ranges. Next is aluminum. It has a news like bullish sentiment spurred by high input costs and energy concerns across the aluminum supply chain pushed primarily foundry alloy PFA premiums up in both Europe and the United States in the week to Friday. This is fundamentally a positive news for aluminum, and technically speaking, aluminum may expect a mild profit booking. Next is lead. It has a news like LME lead inventory dropped 25 MT to a low in nearly 4 months. Lead prices posted relatively strong gains recently, but the spot transactions did not improve. This is fundamentally a mixed news for lead, and technically speaking, lead may expect a mixed trade in between 180.3 to 190.85. Next is zinc. It has news like spot zinc TCs continue to rise. Chinese smelter demand low. This is fundamentally a slight negative news for zinc, and technically speaking, zinc may expect a profit booking rally. Next is nickel. It has a news like LME nickel inventory stood at a 3-month low and kept falling. The downstream started inquiries for nickel sulfate and the prices rose subsequently. Fundamentally, this is a positive news for nickel, and technically speaking, nickel may expect a high volatility trade in between 1707 to 1807 levels. So these are this week's Commodity Weekly Market Commentary. For more profits and market updates, join our Telegram channel and YouTube channel. Thank you by Sky Broking.